Good morning, everyone. I want to talk about the most irritating book in the Harry Potter series, and more specifically about the full cast audiobook on Audible about that book. This is the most irritating story in the Harry Potter lineup, but I mean this in the best way possible. This book is so irritating and frustrating and enraging that you will get very emotional, but in a very positive way, meaning you will be extremely invested and entertained by the book, the story, but more importantly, the full cast audiobook. And I will try not to spoil it too much, but it is an old book. As you can see here, I have also the hardcover, read the books, listened to basically every single available audiobook edition. I have the English audiobooks in two versions. No, one or two, I'm not sure. But I definitely have the German version in two different versions. So Rufus Beck is the first narrator, and then another one, and then obviously the English regular and air quotes version, and now the full cast version. And I want to talk about the book and the full cast version and tell you at the end if it is worth listening to that version of this Harry Potter audiobook, even if you already have listen to the other versions or read the book. So first and foremost, why is this book so irritating? This book has so many factors, and I really try to not spoil anything. But I mean, it's an old book, and I don't think there are that many people who haven't read or watched the movies yet, but I will try my best not to spoil it. So it is very irritating because there are not only so many things happening where you get really frustrated, but more importantly, there are so many characters in this story, be it she's called Dolores Umbridge, who is one of the main antagonists in this story, but also Draco Malfoy, who is the counterpart to Harry Potter, basically his not villain, but he's also an antagonist, and he does a lot to kind of antagonize Harry. He's bullying Ron, and it is extremely frustrating, those situations alone, and especially with the antagonist of Dolores Umbridge, who is extremely unfair and evil. She's really evil and does a lot of things in this book where you as a reader or as a listener get excited, you get frustrated, you get angry, you get emotional. And that's what I'm saying. This book is irritating. The story is irritating, but in a very... It feels weird to say that something is irritating and makes you mad and then say it is in a good way. But from a storyteller's perspective, this is a really interesting book. And it hits so many points. And especially if you consider that these books were kind of, in air quotes, constructed in a way that the author wanted. The books came out obviously in chronological order, and they were kind of intended to let the kids who were starting to read the books kind of grow with Harry and experience it basically from the same age. And basically Harry and all of his friends, and probably also the kids who were reading it back then, were in puberty. And there are a lot of things where Harry obviously gets frustrated, and rightfully so, because there are a lot of unfair things happening, in particularly from Dolores Umbridge, but also things that he just cannot kind of understand, and where he feels left alone, especially from people like Dumbledore, and he gets extremely isolated and frustrated. And if you are maybe reading it and you are in puberty, you kind of feel for Harry. But even if you are an adult, you kind of understand. I mean, we all went through puberty, right? You kind of understand why he's frustrated, and you feel the unfairness of some of the things that Professor Umbridge is doing, and you feel the hatred rising up towards Malfoy, Draco Malfoy, because he's bullying, he's kind of putting fuel into the fire, and he's heckling everyone who is not one of his cronies and one of his yes-sayers around Draco Malfoy. And you feel so frustrated in that book. And this book does a really good job in terms of storytelling to make you feel that. You get really invested and you get really frustrated. So that alone is one of the reasons why. Oh, I remember, I didn't say which book it is. Harry Potter, Order of the Phoenix. I totally forgot to say that. This is actually the longest book in this series. So that is why I think The Order of the Phoenix is one of the best books in the series. I wouldn't go that far to say it is my favorite, but it is, I would say, in the top 3. Definitely. This is where the series picks up so much speed and so much entertainment that adults, I mean, I mentioned that in the previous books where I said something along the lines, book 1 and 2 are very childish oriented, that it is hard for you as an adult, especially when I got into it, to kind of take it seriously. Then you start with book 3 and you're like, oh, okay, there's something happening that's a little bit darker, and you get interested. Then you go into the Goblet of Fire and then you see, oh, okay, this is really going into adult territory because something is happening at the end that I'm not going to spoil. And then you get to the Order of the Phoenix. And while it is, what's the term? Is it mature adults or youth books or something, it is still something that an adult can enjoy, and you really notice how it picks up speed. And it is for repeating myself, irritating in a good way. And then you listen to the full cast audiobook, and man, this audiobook, the full cast is amazing. I mentioned in my other review about the full cast audiobook from the Harry Potter series that the jump from child actor reading or acting Harry Potter to jumping to the next one, it was jarring. It was really it wasn't great. It felt like in the Goblet of Fire, why is everyone suddenly in their puberty? And the jump was very jarring and it wasn't great. It wasn't a good experience. I did need a little bit of time to get used to it. Now getting into the Order of the Phoenix, where not only from the voice of the actors, but more importantly of the topic of the story, you get more into this. Okay, they're in puberty. It is for me okay that their voices are a little bit deeper and they sound a little bit older. It's not that jarring anymore. So that is really cool. So the actors, the portrayal of Harry, Ron, Hermione, and all of the other kid actors is on point and really good. And you do feel, especially those bullying scenes and the frustration of Harry, you feel it. It feels authentic. It feels the right choice of actors. Now we get to the antagonist, Kiera Knightley as Professor Umbridge. She does such a good job. It is the perfect tone and the perfect way she acts it that, yeah, you really, I feel like it is the one 100% perfect choice. I mean, in the movies, that actor also was amazing, but in this, it's also really, really good. And it is, just as the book describes, it is a very high-pitched, trying to be a little bit childish, friendly kind of tone, but in a completely weird way, because she tries to be very friendly, very unthreatening, but because it is such a contrast to what she's saying and doing, it feels so much more dangerous, so much more scary and intimidating. And I think it is the perfect choice. Just like in the movies and the way the books describes it, Kiera Knightley's voice, the way she acts it out, is perfect because, as I said, I'm trying to be cute, unintimidating, and I have this high-pitched voice, and I couldn't do harm to a fly. And then you notice what she's saying and what she's doing. It feels even more scarier, and totally out of place, and scary and horrific in a way. So it is. And that adds to the irritation when you kind of listen to it. And that's the reason why this is such a good audiobook, full cast audiobook, because the story is good. Now they've chosen the perfect actors for the antagonist, and now also the actors that felt out of place in the Goblet of Fire book now feel perfect, in sync with their age of how old Harry is supposed to be. And I would say definitely really, really, really good book. If you haven't read the book yet and you start Harry Potter, I think all of these full cast audiobooks, they have their flaws. And as I said, the jump switching from the kid actors to the youth actors is jarring, but not in a way so that I wouldn't say if you listen to it an hour or something, then you kind of get used to it, but the stories are good enough. I would really think that just based on this audiobook, the Order of the Phoenix, the full cast audio edition, I think it's totally worth kind of overlooking those trade-offs, those flaws in the first books, audiobooks, and listen to this because it's really good. It's really, really good. And I cannot wait for the Half-Blood Prince, because that is actually one of my favorites. And then more importantly, the Deathly Hallows. That is definitely one of my favorite books. And yeah, I can't wait until those full cast audio edition books come out. So yeah, highly recommend the Order of the Phoenix full cast audio edition. Highly recommend. So yeah, have you listened to it? Are you planning to listen to it? Let me know in the comment section below, and maybe check out my last review about the full cast audio edition up here. YouTube thinks that you liked the video down here, and don't forget to subscribe by clicking the button up here. That way we see each other in the next video. Thank you very much.